This is Black Hole, Chapter 3. A few days later, late in the afternoon of a perfect day, the king was lounging on a hammock on his lush terrace, looking out over the land and enjoying the weather, being fed berries by Chamashi. The king seemed deep in thought and pleasure. He looked to the horizon and said quietly to his servant, "The sun will be setting soon." "Yes, sire. Do you need me to prepare anything for tomorrow?" Chamashi asked. "No," the king said. "That will all come in time." He looked at Chamashi and smiled. "I think we should do something fun tonight. But with the negotiations going on between nations, you need to be ready," Chamashi said. The king laughed. "No more drinking then," he said, and he leapt to his feet and began running. Chamashi trailed right behind him, with a bag full of berries, elixirs, and massage lotions. "Why are you running so fast? I can barely keep up," Chamashi said as they both sailed down the stairs, past other servants, past the sauna, theater, and dining hall. "I have a plan," the king said. "We could take our time and rest," Chamashi suggested. "The saunas are always ready, and we could see one of your favorite plays. Afterwards, I could give you a massage. That way, you will be ready for the queen." "Would the massage be a happy one?" the king asked with a smirk. "I only live to serve," Chamashi said, avoiding eye contact. "No time for that," the king said, "and no time for worries. The queen is going to agree with us." "If you insist, my lord," Chamashi said. "But where are we going?" "To the infirmary," the king said. "But you are not sick, and I am well too," Chamashi said, checking his arms for scars or sores as he almost tripped, trying to keep up with the king and his impeccable athleticism. "The medicines of man are for more than healing the body and mind," the king said. "Some even say they can help one evolve." Chamashi nodded. "Whatever you desire, sire. But do you not already have all one can want? The best genes, a stress-free life, power and influence as well." The king laughed. "Things can always be better. And you'll be doing this with me." Chamashi smiled, but it was a nervous smile. "I do not know, sire. I have been pure my entire life, promised only to the king and his court." "Don't you find my bride attractive?" the king asked. They entered a hall with 1,000 vials, and the king picked a few up. Chamashi blushed. He said, unsure whether to answer yes and be labeled a rogue or no and be labeled uncouth. "Don't worry so much. Just drink what I drink," the king said, shoving a cup into Chamashi's hands. Chamashi winced but obeyed. In an instant, the world spun, colors brightened, and everything seemed a little happier, a little more possible. "Let's go find Maki," the king laughed. "Have you ever had a threesome?" "A what?" Chamashi said. "Never mind. You'll love it," the king insisted. They crossed into the tower, climbed 1,000 stairs, and in a beautiful wing of the castle, they found Maki. "It is date night," the king announced, unrobing before her. Her maiden, who was braiding her hair, froze in shock and then bolted from the room. Chamashi stood in the corner, shocked as well, and quietly trembling. "You've had something to drink, haven't you?" Maki asked, before kissing the king sweetly on the forehead. He laughed. "You know me too well. And you brought your sweet young Chamashi," she said. Chamashi said nothing. "He is loyal, isn't he?" Maki said. "Always listening, always obedient. I bet he barely fought you when you made him drink what you did." The king smiled. "He is the best." Maki looked at Chamashi compassionately. "You would be a good king to let him rest." "I would," the king said. "So go and rest, Chamashi." Chamashi fled, running and crying while Maki burned incense. She and the king stayed awake the entire night, talking about the evolution of minds, the conquering of lands, and the future of mankind. She allowed him sex only because she knew it would quiet his thoughts and keep him occupied, and because one day she wanted to give birth to the next king. Chapter 4. After a marvelous evening with Maki, the king fell into a deep sleep. He dreamt he was soaring above the kingdom on a motorized hover glider, as he often did in real life. The breeze was warm, his muscles strong, the sun gentle on his skin. The people below were smiling, the birds tweeting beautifully. A powerful urge drew him into a vast meadow where a single great tree was at its center. Perhaps it reminded him of childhood. Perhaps not. Either way, he was drawn to it. He landed and was struck by a wave of nostalgia he could not place. The scent of rosewood flowers felt familiar. The tree felt familiar. A deer grazed nearby, and he held out his hand. A thought crossed his mind. This deer seems different. She knows something. If I connect with her, I will reach the fabled 5th stage of enlightenment. He stared into the deer's eyes. She huffed. You are an idiot, the deer said plainly, in unbroken English, and bolted. The king fumed and chased her through the weeds and thorns, his strong Olympic-level body carrying him effortlessly across the land. He chased her until she became trapped in a briar. He stared her down, trying to scare her into submission. But she did not submit. She bit him, then collapsed from exhaustion. I have won, the king proclaimed. You are an idiot, the deer repeated between strained breaths, and you have sinned. The king held her until she passed out. He awoke in a sweat. There is no such thing as sin, he muttered. That was disproven long ago. He paced the room, emotionally unsteady for the first time in years. He tried breathing calmly, but that did not calm him. He considered calling Jamashi, taking another elixir, but something stopped him. Something inside of him. As he paced, Maki slept peacefully. In a few hours they would have breakfast. He would meet her father. But the king was not going to stay and wait for that. He had to go. He told himself Maki would be fine. He needed to understand the dream. He had been taught dreams were random neuronal firings, yet something stirred within him. Something told him that this dream contained something more. He left for the roof. It was still dark, the hour when nothing is meant to happen, when all men and beasts were programmed to sleep, and yet somehow something had awoken him. The land stretched before him, green hills beneath moonlight. A breeze touched his face, and at the forest's edge, something moved. 2 eyes appeared, and then vanished. Then an animal bolted into the open, which was not supposed to happen. A royal guard emerged and killed it instantly. It was a deer. The king saw it clearly now. 2 guards dragged the body away, and soon there was no trace of what had happened. But the king knew. He slipped from the palace, avoiding guards, and kept to the east side to avoid being seen. He timed his movements carefully to avoid the patrols. Then he ran through the main doors, slipped on spilled water, and fell 100 feet into the moat below. He stopped breathing. For a few moments, he was dead.